I am 47 years old. I have outlived my ambition. I have outlived my excuses. I have outlived every tomorrow I ever promised myself. And in about 6 weeks, I will outlive nothing because I'll be dead. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. 6 months ago, a doctor looked at a scan of my body and told me I had a year. Last Tuesday, he revised that to weeks, but I'm not here for your sympathy. I don't want your prayers. I don't need you to feel sorry for me. I'm here because I'm furious, not at the cancer. The cancer is just doing what cancer does. I'm furious at myself, at the life I didn't live, at every single day I traded for someday. Because here's what I've realized lying in this bed, counting my remaining heartbeats. I'm not dying of cancer. I'm dying of someday. And if you're being honest with yourself right now, brutally, painfully honest, you're infected with the same disease. You just don't know it yet. Let me tell you who I was 6 months ago. I was an architect, a successful one, partner at a firm I helped build from the ground up. I designed buildings, beautiful buildings that will stand for 100 years after my bones turn to dust. I made good money, great money, the kind of money that buys a house in the suburbs, 2 German cars in the garage, and the illusion that you've won at life. I have a wife, Sarah, 24 years together, 22 married. I have a son, David, who's 17, a daughter, Emma, who's 14. On paper, I had everything. In reality, I had nothing. I just didn't know it. You know what my life actually was? A collection of postponed promises. I'll take Sarah to Greece someday. I'll teach David to fish someday. I'll have a real conversation with Emma someday. I'll call my father and end this stupid fight someday. I had a list on my phone. I called it my someday list. 47 things I wanted to do when I had time, when work slowed down, when the kids were older, when we had more money. 1 item for every year I've been alive. I will complete 0 of them. 0. You know what my someday list is now? It's not a bucket list. It's a graveyard. A graveyard of experiences that will never happen, words that will never be spoken, memories that will never be made. I spent 25 years building a life I never actually lived, and my inbox is still full. Emails from clients waiting for responses they'll never get, meetings scheduled for next month that I won't attend. The world doesn't pause when you die. It just forwards your work to someone else and updates the org chart. People visit me now, friends, family, colleagues. They all ask the same question. What do you regret? They expect me to list things. Working too much, not traveling enough, missing moments, making mistakes. But that's not how regret works when you're dying. When you're dying, all the small regrets melt away, and you're left with just one, the big one, the one that was hiding underneath all the others. My one regret. I lived like I was immortal. I treated time like it was on sale, like there was an endless supply in some warehouse, and I could always order more when I ran out. You can't. There is no warehouse. There is no more. There's only what you have right now, in this moment, and you are spending it like it's worthless. I have a calendar on my wall. Every day I cross one off. Most people count up. Birthdays, anniversaries, achievements. I count down. And let me tell you something about counting down. It changes everything. Suddenly, a Tuesday morning isn't just a Tuesday morning. It's one of the last 40 Tuesdays you'll ever see. Suddenly, a conversation with your wife isn't just small talk. It's one of the last few hundred conversations you'll ever have with the person you love most in the world. Suddenly, everything matters, because everything is ending. I wasted 47 years not understanding this. You're wasting your life right now not understanding this. The difference between us, I know my countdown, you don't. But you have one too. Let me tell you about Sarah. I met her when I was 22. She was a waitress at a diner near my college. Brown hair, crooked smile, laughed at my terrible jokes. I went to that diner every single day for 3 months just to see her. I'd order coffee I didn't want and sit there pretending to read a newspaper while I worked up the courage to talk to her. Finally asked her out, hands shaking, voice cracking. She said yes. Best moment of my life. We got married when I was 25. Tiny apartment, used furniture, broke as hell, happiest I've ever been. You know what Sarah wanted more than anything? One thing for 22 years, Greece. Her grandmother was Greek. She grew up hearing stories about Santorini, the white buildings, the blue domes, the sunsets that looked like God spilled orange paint across the sky. She had a picture of Santorini on her desk the day I met her. It's still there. Every single year she'd ask, "Can we go to Greece this year?" And every single year I had an answer ready. "Next year, babe. Work is crazy right now. Maybe after this project, when the kids are older, when we have more saved up." 22 years of next year. 22 years of almost. 22 years of a picture on a desk instead of a memory in her heart. 2 years ago, she stopped asking. Just stopped. I was actually relieved. One less thing to feel guilty about. I should have been terrified. Because when someone stops asking, they've stopped hoping. And when someone stops hoping, a little piece of them dies, even while they're still alive. Last week, Sarah brought her iPad to my hospital bed. She'd downloaded hundreds of photos of Greece. The white buildings, the blue domes, the sunsets. She held my hand and we swiped through them together. She said, "This is nice too." She's lying. It's not nice. It's a tragedy. A slideshow of a life we didn't live. She's 45 years old. She's going to be a widow before she's 50. And she's never seen a Santorini sunset with the man who promised her one for 22 years. You know what's in Greece right now? Couples. Walking those streets, watching those sunsets, living the life I promised Sarah and never delivered. Our flights would have been $800. The trip would have been a week. I spent more than that on a watch I don't even wear anymore. 22 years, $800, 7 days. That's what stood between my wife and her dream, and I couldn't be bothered. My son David is 17, senior year, basketball star, scholarship offers, the whole bright future ahead of him. My daughter Emma is 14, quiet, thoughtful, reads 3 books a week, smarter than I ever was. I love them more than anything in this world, and they barely know me. I was a provider, not a father. I paid for things. I showed up sometimes. I was physically present at dinner when I made it home for dinner. But mentally, I was still at the office, still solving problems, still chasing the next project. I gave them a lifestyle. I didn't give them a dad. 3 years ago, David's basketball team made the state championship. He'd been working toward this for 4 years. 4 years of practices, games, early mornings, late nights. I promised him I'd be there. Promised. Left work early, drove to the school, got to the parking lot with 10 minutes to spare. Then my phone rang. Client emergency, big client. The kind you don't ignore. I told myself, 5 minutes, I'll take this call, handle it quickly, and catch the second half. I sat in that parking lot for 47 minutes. When I walked into the gym, everyone was cheering. Game over. They'd won. I found David in the crowd. He was looking for me, his eyes scanning the bleachers. When he saw me, his face didn't light up. It just fell like someone had let the air out of him. He didn't yell, didn't cry, didn't say anything. He just nodded and looked away. That look. I see it every night when I close my eyes. Last week I asked both my kids a question. I said, "What's your favorite memory with me?" Silence. Long silence. Finally David said, "Remember when the power went out that one time and we played cards by candlelight?" A random Tuesday, a power outage. That's his favorite memory of his father. Because it was the only time there was nothing I could escape to. No phone, no laptop, no work, just us. Emma still hasn't answered the question. My son is 17. In 6 months, he'll graduate high school. In a year, he'll go to college. In a few years, he'll fall in love, get his heart broken, figure out who he is, become a man. And I won't be there for any of it. He's going to learn how to be a man from someone else, how to tie a tie, how to handle failure, how to treat a woman, how to be a father. Someone else will teach him Because his father was too busy designing buildings to build a relationship with his own son, they're going to put my picture on a shelf, and eventually they'll stop looking at it. That's my legacy, a photograph that gathers dust. I have a colleague named Mike, same age as me, same profession. Started at the firm the same year, but Mike made different choices. At 35, Mike left the partnership track, took a position with fewer hours, less prestige, and about 60% of the pay. Everyone thought he was crazy. I thought he was crazy. You're throwing away your career, I told him. You'll regret this. You know what Mike did with his time? He coached his son's little league team every season for 12 years. He took his wife on weekend trips. Not big vacations, just small adventures. He learned to cook. He read books. He had dinner with his family every single night. Mike's been to 30 countries with his wife. I've been to 5. Mike knows his kids' friends' names. I don't even know my kids' friends. Mike's wife looks at him like she's still in love with him. Sarah looks at me like she's already grieving. Last month, Mike came to visit me in the hospital. He sat there, healthy, tanned from a trip to Portugal with his wife, talking about his son's college graduation next spring. And I realized something that shattered me. Mike is the successful one, not me. I have the bigger house. He has the bigger life. I have the fancy title. He has the family dinners. I have the portfolio of buildings. He has the portfolio of memories. He lived. I worked. He experienced. I accumulated. He was present. I was planning. We made the same amount of choices. We were given the same 24 hours every day, but Mike spent his on living. I spent mine on someday. Mike is going home to his wife tonight. I'm going home to die. Tell me again who made the better investment. I haven't spoken to my father in 8 years. 8 years. Over something so stupid, so petty, so embarrassingly small that I can barely say it out loud. Money. A loan he gave me when I was starting out, a disagreement about repayment, words said in anger, pride wounded on both sides. I told myself, I'll call him when he apologizes. He told himself the same thing, so we waited. 2 stubborn men playing chicken with time we didn't have. 8 years of birthdays without a call. 8 years of Christmases without a visit. 8 years of silence where there should have been a father and son. I let my ego steal 8 years from us. 8 years of conversations. 8 years of advice I needed. 8 years my children could have known their grandfather. For what? For being right? For winning an argument nobody remembers? 2 weeks after my diagnosis, I picked up the phone. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely dial. He picked up on the first ring, like he'd been waiting by the phone for 8 years. I said, Dad, it's me. And this 76-year-old man, this proud, stubborn, strong man who I'd never seen show weakness, broke down sobbing. He said, I've been waiting 8 years for this call. I thought I'd die before it came. We might both be right. He comes to visit me every week now. We talk for hours about my childhood, about his childhood, about regrets and fears and all the things we should have said years ago. These are the best conversations we've ever had. It took me dying to start living with my father. And now I'd trade everything I own, the house, the cars, the career, all of it, for 8 more years with him. Hell, I'd trade it all for 8 more minutes. Here's what cancer taught me that 47 years of living didn't. First, time is not a renewable resource. You cannot earn more. You cannot buy more. You cannot negotiate for an extension. Every second that passes is gone forever. Every minute you spend on something meaningless is a minute you stole from something meaningful. And you're spending yours like you have an unlimited supply. You don't. Nobody does. You just don't have a doctor showing you the scan. Second, the perfect moment is a lie. There will never be a perfect time to take the trip, have the conversation, start the thing, fix the relationship, say the words. The conditions will never be ideal. You will never feel ready. The stars will never align. The only moment you have is this one, and you're wasting it waiting for a better one. Third, your life is not a waiting room. You are not waiting for your real life to begin. This is it, right now. This is the main event, not the preview. Every day you treat like a rough draft is a day you'll never get to edit. Fourth, and this is the one that breaks me, the people you love are dying too. Your parents, your partner, your kids, your friends. Every single one of them has a countdown clock. You just can't see it. And one day, without any warning, without any chance to prepare, that clock will hit zero. And every word you didn't say, every moment you postponed, every someday you promised, it becomes a permanent regret. You cannot love someone later. You cannot be present later. You cannot live later. Later doesn't exist. There is only now. I can't get my time back. Every minute I wasted is wasted forever. Every someday I promised is a promise I'll never keep, but you still have yours. So here's what I need you to do. Not tomorrow. Not after you finish watching. Right now, I want you to do one thing. Just one. Call someone you've been meaning to call. Send that text you've been writing in your head. Book that trip you've been thinking about. Forgive that person you've been punishing. Tell someone you love them out loud with your voice, not an emoji. I don't care which one. Just pick one and do it. Don't watch this video and feel sad for 15 minutes and then go back to scrolling through your phone like nothing happened. Don't let this be another piece of content you consume and forget by tomorrow. That would make my death meaningless. Actually, you know what? Pause this video right now. Pick up your phone, text someone 3 words, I love you, or I miss you, or I'm sorry, or let's talk. Do it right now. I'll wait. Actually, I can't wait. That's the whole point. But you can. You have time. So don't waste it. If you won't do it for yourself, do it for me. Do it for every person who ran out of time before they could. Live the life I didn't. Put an X on today. I'm recording this from my bedroom. My wife is downstairs. She's looking at pictures of Greece on her iPad. I can hear her making tea. My son is at school. My daughter is at school. My father is coming tomorrow. Somewhere, there's an email in my inbox marked urgent. I haven't checked it in weeks. Turns out nothing in there was actually urgent. It just felt like it was. I have maybe 6 weeks left, maybe less. The doctors don't know. Nobody knows. But here's the thing. I've lived more in the last 6 months than I did in the previous 47 years. I've had more real conversations, more real moments, more real presence. The coffee tastes better. The sunlight through the window is more beautiful. My wife's laugh is more precious. My son's voice is more important. I'm finally living. I'm just not living for very long. That's the cruel joke. You don't need a diagnosis to live like this. You don't need a death sentence to appreciate what you have. You don't need doctors telling you it's over to start living like every moment matters. You just need to stop believing the lie that you have forever. You don't. None of us do. I'm dying of cancer, but I stopped dying of someday. The question is, will you? I'm tired now. Go put an X on your life.